Hi everyone and happy February. Today I am here to talk about the books that I read in January. In January I was only able to read 4 books. January was kind of a rough month, but that's okay. Can't complain, all things considered. I'm very fortunate that although it was a rough month and everyone feels that January lasts like 3 months, it flew by for me, so can't complain. Definitely can't complain. So I read 4 books. 2 of them were plays and 2 of them were actual books, and then they were all rated 3 stars, oddly enough. I didn't even realize that until I was looking at my wrap up. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. First things first, the first book or play that I read in January was Rogues Gallery by John Patrick Shanley. This is a series of monologues so if anyone out there is watching this as an actor and they're looking for monologues, that's a great option to check out. But it's a series of, I want to say, about 7 or 8 monologues, and all the monologues except for one are about 1 to 2 pages at most. The last monologue is the longest one, coming in at 13 pages. So you can either pull a monologue from this play, or you can bring them all together the way it is in the book and put on a little showcase showing off you and your friends' amazing talents. So that is great. And I don't have a physical copy with me. My physical copy is back home in Texas. So, but that is the first book that I read in 2026. The second book that I read is another play called Lidia by Octavio Solis. And I thought I had read this one previously, but I didn't have any ratings on it on Goodreads. So I guess I didn't read it. But anyway, this is a play that takes place in my hometown of El Paso, Texas. And it follows a family as their eldest daughter, or their only daughter, I should say. Yes, their only daughter. 2 years before, on the eve of her quinceañera, was in a car accident, and now she is severely disabled. And so they hire a maid called Lidia to come in and care for her. So I guess she's not really a maid. They call her a maid, but she's more of a caretaker. And there is drama upon drama in this book. It's very novela inspired, soap opera. So if you're into like that kind of drama, it's also, there's the relationships, it's like Greek tragedy mixed with novelas, and that's how I'm going to describe it. So this is Lidia by Octavio Solis, and as I said, I rated all of these 3 stars. So I did enjoy this one, and I think Rogues Gallery, I rated it 3 stars because it was a series of monologues. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I just wanted more of a play. And then this one, I don't know why I think the Greek tragedy of it all is what got to me. Yeah. So the third book I read is Flesh by David Jallet. I think I'm pronouncing that. I could very much not be. But that was Dua Lipa's October 2025 pick for her book club. I'm very behind on her book club, as you can see. But yeah, I rated it 3 stars, and it's really unfortunate because it started off like when I started reading it, I was fully expecting it to be like a 4-star read, and it unfortunately did not end up being that. So this follows the story of Istvan from the time he's about 15 years old to the time he's about 45. So it follows him over a span of about 30 years, from his adolescence in Hungary to moving to the UK, and then his life in the UK before he ends up moving back to his home country. And yeah, like I said, when I started reading this, it fully gripped me. I was so excited to read it. I was fully invested in this. And then as it went on, it kind of just started dragging for me. I think the character of Istvan, he's described as being very passive, and I can see that, but I don't know. I think that he just got a little bit too, he's very dry and just very, like, he's very bland is the only way I can describe it. But his story itself is not bland, but like he kind of is. I don't know. It really, really gripped me, and then that momentum just did not keep going till the end, which is very disappointing. The last book I read in January was I Heard You Paint Houses, Frank the Irishman Sheeran, and Closing the Case of Jimmy Hoffa by Charles Brandt. This was a book that was published in 2004 and is the basis for the 2019 film The Irishman. And this was a 3 stars for me because there was just so many people. And I mean, this is the story of something that actually happened, and it's part of U.S. history that I'm not familiar with at all. Didn't even know who these people were before watching the film. So anyway, there was just so much information and so many so many people involved in this story, and it was just a lot to try to keep track of everyone. So it lost me a little bit at points, and I was just like, wait, who is this person again? Have we met them before? Are we being introduced to them for the first time? Because some of them, like, we met them once and then a hit was ordered on them and they were killed, and then other people were talked about a few times, and some of them had, like, they're referred to by their actual names, but then they're also referred to by their mob nicknames, and some of them, I mean, they have very similar sounding names, so I was just like, who, what? But yeah, it was a lot easier to keep track of it in the film. But if you want to know my full thoughts on both, that will be this week's episode of my podcast if you're interested in checking out. So those are the 4 books that I read in the month of January. Let me know what your favorite book that you read in January is. I think despite it all, I'm going to go with Flesh for my favorite read. And let me know if any of those sound interesting to you and if you will be picking any of them up. Okay, bye.